very long, elaborate question. I get asked one question by fans over and over again, and they say, give me some advice. How do I get from where I'm at to where you're at? Because they all think they want to get into the music business. So I thought I would write an album that showed them the absolute worst side of this business, and then if they still want to go for it, they can. I mean, the only thing that I wanted to do was create a product where when people listened to it, they understood what was going on. Because for me, if we're going to jump out in the ocean and go swimming, we might have a great time. But if there's sharks swimming around out in the water, I'd appreciate it if somebody told me they were there before I dive in head first. That's the reason I made it. They weren't so much interviews as they were more conversations with journalists. I never have had a situation where I did a promotional tour that was like the last one was. This one's very, very different because this is like, it's telling the same bedtime story over and over and over again. It's like, telling Goldilocks and the Three Bears, a million times. So it gets a little fatiguing. The last one was much, much easier because it wasn't so much me just answering questions. I would get into conversations with the journalists, and it was very, very enjoyable like that because Headless Children was an album that was very heavy on philosophy and very, very different than anything we'd done before. So I think that it took a long time for journalists for my message to sink in. I think it took 2 or 3 years, but finally it did. And it seems to be having the desired effect now because I know, having gone back through all of Europe, which I've just done, the same people I've talked to this time have been much, much more receptive to the Crimson Idol than they were the Headless Children. And it's not because they didn't like the Headless Children. They just found it very strange, an album like Headless Children coming from W.A.S.P. So I think that bridge, or that gap has been bridged at this point. So journalists will better understand in the future if I do something that requires a lot of thought by the listener. At least I hope so. For so long, I had reached a point where I had grown weary of doing the same routine over and over again. When W.A.S.P first started, from day one, we've been a very misunderstood band. Everyone said, why do you do the big show, and why do you have the woman on the rack and the meat? We did all those things to entertain ourselves, never to entertain an audience. And when we got bored, we grew tired of doing that show, we stopped doing it. And people didn't understand that either. Because once they had gotten used to the idea, they couldn't understand why we didn't continue to do it. So I went and I said, okay, do we continue this traveling insane asylum, this circus? Well, we did the Inside the Electric Circus tour. That record was very appropriately named because that's exactly what had happened to us. We had turned into a circus. And we said, okay, we're not going to do this anymore like this. And I had a lot of thoughts that I was thinking, especially very political thoughts, because I'm very politically active. And so I thought, well, I was in New York, and I had done a lot of interviews, and it was right at the end of the Electric Circus tour. And I was very, very tired of going in and entertaining the journalists, because when I'd go in and talk to journalists, I'd do my Muhammad Ali impersonations, and I'd wave my arms around, and I'd talk loud and stuff like that, And you remember from before, what we would do when we come. And I got tired of doing that. And there's a part of me that still likes to do that. But when you have something serious you want to say, people don't listen to you when you're serious if you're doing all that before. So I'm in New York, and I'm doing this interview with Hit Parader magazine. And I was very, very tired of entertaining journalists. And so I said, okay, I'm going to talk about what exactly is on my mind right now, what's bothering me, what's wrong with the state of America, all that stuff. So I said, okay, I'm not here to make you people laugh. I'm going to say exactly what I think. So I did that, and about 3 months went by, and the Hit Parader magazine people sent me a sampling of letters, of about 100 letters. They said they'd never received that much fan mail from an article ever before. And every article, or every letter said the same thing. It was like, we're glad somebody has finally spoken out and talked about what's wrong in America, instead of just trying to pretend that we don't have problems and thinking that rock and roll has slipped into this mindless type of show business, which it had. So those letters directly influenced me, and I said, there must be a lot of people that are thinking the same way I'm thinking. And I don't want to get... I've been very, very serious for about the last 5 years, and I don't know if I'll always be like that. I guess if the rest of the world was more serious, then I would relax and not be so serious. But I think that it's important that artists who have this great power to influence should say more positive things. I think there are a few bands that are very, very important. I think Queensryche is an important band. I think Iron Maiden's an important band. Metallica is an important band. Those are bands that when they say something, people listen. They're not just singing about, you know, their girlfriend's red dress or something like that. And then rock and roll is supposed to be about revolution and anarchy, and when you see something wrong, you say something about it. And rock and roll has long since not been about that. So I decided that I would make records that directly reflected what I was feeling inside. I mean, there's a whole thing going on in America now that I'm sure everyone here is aware of. It's called Japan bashing. And Japan bashing is not so much people in America angry with Japan, it's them angry with themselves. Because for so long, America has believed that they are number one. And the whole idea of never, ever not being number one did not enter their mind. And so Americans sit back like this and they go, yeah, we're the best, we're the greatest. And 30 years went by and America was not number one anymore. And they could not understand why things were happening to them. So they immediately look for someone else to blame. There's no one else to blame but the people in America. And if more artists, actors, musicians, painters, whatever, actually stood up and did what bands did in the 60s and say what they think, not only would rock and roll be better, but the world would be a better place. More bands need to do that. I think it's very, very important.
If I could only stand and stare in the mirror, could I see one fallen hero with a face like me? And if I scream, could anybody hear me? If I smash the silence, see what fate has done to me. Kiss away the pain and leave me lonely. I'll never know if love's alive. Crazy in paradise is easy. Do you see the prisoners in my eyes? Where is the love to shelter me? Only love, love set me free. Here is the love to shelter me. Only love, love set me free. Set the pain and leave me lonely. I'll never know if love's alive. Crazy in paradise is easy. Do you see the prisoners in my eyes? Where is the love to shelter me? Only love, love set me free. Where is the love to shelter me? Only love, love set me free, set me free. There's a flame in my heart, and there's no rain can put it out. And there's a flame, it's burning in my heart, and there's no rain who can put it out. So just hold me, hold me, hold me. Take away the pain inside my soul, 'cause I'm afraid, so all alone. Take away the pain, it's bad.